Right. On to what I think is probably super fucking important. Where's the camera? Oh, hi! I don't know why I thought too many things are up right now. Look. Alright, I don't know if my sound bowl is too loud, so we're gonna turn it down. If you're feeling irked throughout this video, it might be because it's cleansing your negativity, okay? Keep that in mind. I'm about to show y'all my light setup. I'm about to show you my light setup, okay? I know this is well overdue. I know plenty of you have been asking for this, so I hope that this video finds who's looking for it. Let me do a little introduction right quick, okay? My name is Anya. I am a makeup artist, a hairdresser, a beauty lover in general. I make content mainly on IG. We're getting moving on TikTok. Just started on YouTube, but I feel like this is a good video for you. I feel like this is a good video to share with you because a lot of people have asked me. And when I was trying to figure out my lighting setup, I couldn't find a lot of videos like this. I'm not gonna lie. There was one video that really influenced it, and I'll link it. I'll link it down below so y'all can check hers out too. I feel like there's a lot of beauty influencers out there who use this kind of setup but don't want to tell you how to do it. So here I am. I'm gonna tell you how to do it. So we're going to go over editing a little bit in this video, but if you want a more in-depth video about it, I can make one. Just let me know if you want one down in the comments. You know what to do. I am going to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not a professional photographer, alright? I would say I'm pretty good, but I'm not a professional. I don't, you know, I'm self-taught, alright? Self-taught. Everything I do is self-taught. I looked it up and I figured it out. Okay, that's kind of how everything is here. So I'm not going to claim I'm a pro. I'll tell you what works for me. And you know what works, works. In my opinion, there's no right, there's no wrong. What works, works, bitch. Okay, I'm gonna be holding my phone because my monitor is on my phone and I gotta make sure things are in focus because this camera's whack. It does the trick, but it's whack. If you're wondering what camera I use, which is also a common question, it's gonna be linked. First thing I want to go over is the brands or like the type of lights that I have. And I want to be very clear when I tell you that it really doesn't matter what brand you get as long as it does the trick, okay? Like these are GVM lights. You're going to see these. You're going to see these all over the place. Everybody loves these. These are great lights, but they're expensive. So if they're not in your budget, bitch, don't buy them. Just get something similar. Why people love these so much is because they are small. And they can be moved around easier versus the soft boxes we got back here. Although they have a beautiful light to them, they're big as fuck. So if you're working with a small space, that's gonna be difficult. And they're not easy to really move around. They always fall over and shit. Like they should be weighted at the bottom, but a bitch is not gonna do that. And so, you know, things to consider. These are the GVM 1000D. I think I'll link it down below. I have two of those, and then I have one 800D, which is the one that is kind of lighting us up a little bit here. I'll bring it right here. Originally, I had bought these two lights to replace the soft boxes because these are so huge, and I wanted something that like didn't take up as much like space. But then, not what I ended up using them for, and I actually do still end up using the soft boxes, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. These are the ones that also change color, so this has a full color spectrum on it. Let's make sure we're still recording here. You never fucking know with this camera. Are we recording? You can connect these lights to your phone, these GVM lights to your phone and control them from your phone, which is something I love. I love to control all my shit from my phone. My camera I can control from my phone. If you're not using the settings on your phone, on the back we've got some buttons here. You hit it and it switches it to color mode, and this is real bright so you might not be able to see how green that is, but it'll change. Whatever colors you want, bitch. Whatever colors you want, you can get it. I use this to get the color in the background. Some of these colors don't show up as vibrant, but for the most part, you can get away with having one white background and lights like these that change color like this, and you can do all sorts. But I am gonna warn you, don't be getting a ring light, bitch, unless it's like a good, like a professional ring light that is probably not cheap. Just don't do the ring light. The ring light does not give enough light, and every time I used to use it, I was always so disappointed in what it did for me. It didn't do much. Skip the ring light, go straight to these. You're gonna thank me, okay? I got the soft boxes off of Amazon. I don't even remember the brand, but I will go back in my Amazon history for y'all. and link it down below. I feel like I only paid like $150 for both of them, so it wasn't a very expensive light purchase versus these GVM lights are expensive, and bitch, you're gonna have to Apple Pay them, okay? Unless you a G. So I've had to space them out. So if you're not in the position to just go buy a whole bunch of fucking lights, then don't. Work with what you got. A big ass fucking window will work as well. Like, I used to film my stuff, it would take 2 days. Everything took so long, but there's a certain hour during the day where the window light was perfect for anything. And I would take my before, like the before transition, I would take it right in front of that window, and then the next day, at the exact same time, I would take the after, okay? Bitch, if there's a will, there's a way. So don't give me no, oh, I can't buy lights. You don't need them. But if you can't get them, get them. Prioritize them, invest in them, but you know, at your own pace. Okay, don't go broke. There are other kinds of brands that might have a cheaper version of this kind of light, so do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Originally got lights, I got 2 soft boxes first. I did the ring light thing first. That was a no. And then I got the soft boxes, and the soft boxes really changed the game. I love the way that soft boxes look. GVM lights have a soft box, outerwear, I don't know. You can put like a soft box thing on them, but because they're so small in size, it doesn't give the same effect. It doesn't. It gives more like a spotlight softened effect, which is a vibe for other things. But I need a lot of brightness because I go for that bright look. You feel me? Yeah, okay. Hopefully that kind of went over my lights, and hopefully that wasn't too confusing. I'm trying to be organized with this, but I'm behind. I have a toddler, and so nothing goes according to schedule. Let me move. Woo! Girl, we got all 3 lights up and the bitch is overexposed. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Just a wee bit. The backdrop. It depends on the vibe. Let me put this down. It depends on the vibe that you're going for when it comes to the backdrop that you choose. But if you want like a super bright, glowy backdrop, which is what a bitch is, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. I'll give you an idea of what you can do if you want a dark backdrop, because that's a vibe too, y'all, and I might have to switch it up a little bit with that. So, you want a vinyl backdrop. Don't fuck with the paper. The paper, you're gonna waste so much money with because you're gonna have to replace them all the time because they get crinkled really easily and destroyed really, really easily. And the issue with paper is that because it's paper, it absorbs light a little bit, so it just doesn't look quite as perfect, seamless as something that's vinyl, all right? And what vinyl is, that works. Can I see? Can you see? The difference between paper and vinyl is that this is almost like a plastic. Like, it's a plastic, you can wipe this down, you could spray multi-purpose spray up on this bitch and wipe it down with a rag, and it will be good as new. This is why it saves you money to invest. It's gonna last you far longer than the paper rolls, so don't be a fool. Just get this. I will link where I got mine. This is a 5x7. I need a smaller stand. It's a little uneven, but ain't nobody gonna know when we set it up. Ain't nobody gonna fucking know. Now, something you could do if you don't have a huge space and can't get a stand like this is you can mount this onto the wall, or even tape something like this onto a wall, okay, like a square of it. You don't need the full size. You can even do a smaller size because we're so cropped into our face that we really only need like a little bit. Get creative. There's staplers, tapes, tacks, okay, do what you gotta do. Hot glue, stickers, look, and get it done. Now you do see some of the beauty influencers using like that wavy kind of like velvet kind of backdrop. If you want a vibe like that, you would want a fabric backdrop. I have a couple. It's a vibe, but it's more of a moody vibe, and for me, I can never get the seams out of the fabric because a bitch don't have a steamer, and I'm not gonna go get one. You got me fucked up. So every time I record, I pull my backdrop up to about here. It's really fucking inconvenient, so if you can get your setup so you don't gotta move shit, do that. Most of the time I'll have my boyfriend help me. Where's the camera? Oh my god, I can't. Here is where I end up putting it in my little space, and I record in this chair, just like so. Okay. You don't want to be completely flat against your backdrop because you want to have space between you and your backdrop to separate the shadows out with the lights. I hope that made sense. Okay, so this is the other like viewpoint. This is my TV. This is my little workspace where I do my makeup, where I film. Let's talk real quick about 3 simple steps when it comes to lighting. First, we're gonna talk about the key light. The key light is the light that is shining pretty much your front up, okay, or the object up. Usually in front of you, angled a little bit to the side. The third part of like your 3 light standard setup would be a fill light. It really just fills the space in between, like if you need more brightness. Here, at an angle. They're coming at my face, at my high points. So it really makes you glow when you do it like this, because typically I put my camera like back here, and so my lights are here and my camera's in the center of my lights. Okay, so this is what the space looks like if we have none of the lights on. This is just the natural light coming through my window. When I film for reels, I have my camera vertically. Right now it's horizontally because we're on YouTube, and I'll use a completely different lens. This lens that I have on it right now is, I don't know, it's the one that came with the camera, and it's like a zoom lens, so you could get much wider. But when I film for reels, I really like a cropped, clear, very crisp, cropped, clear, and crisp. And honestly, I don't change the dimness of my lights much. I put my lights on its brightest settings, and then I adjust the camera settings to let in a certain amount of light. That's what I like to do versus trying to turn down the lights. I just find that it saves the quality that way, in my opinion. If you're a pro and you're like, bitch, you don't know what you're talking about, get the fuck out of here, because I didn't say I did. I'm just saying it works. So I'm gonna just turn these bitches on, and I'm gonna put it to like the medium tone in between the cool and the warm. Now, you see, it's from our camera, we can adjust a little bit how much light our lens lets in, okay? I'm in my shutter speed right now, and I am actually making the number a higher number. So it was at 25, and now it is at 50. You can see we're getting duller. That's my daughter. Hold up. Oh, mommy's lipstick is on your face. So mama just woke up from her nap. Mama. Oh, Mama got more lipstick on you. I'm sorry. I just love you. Okay, so when I'm filming for short form content, which is Instagram and TikTok, I will have my camera on the vertical, obviously. You should not be filming anything on the horizontal for the gram or the TikTok. Oh, thank you. I got a 42.5 millimeter lens. I feel like it makes my videos look higher quality, but I also feel like it makes it look like I'm filming from a better camera than I'm actually filming from. Because a lot of people ask me what my camera is, and you know, it's a Lumix, a Panasonic Lumix, a G7, y'all. It's not a new camera. Amazon Prime, I got it for steal, and it's affordable even when it's not on sale, okay? So it's a good starter camera. There's some glitches, some things that weird about the autofocus, but whatever. You learn to accommodate. Having this lens or a lens similar in this size makes it look like I'm filming on a much nicer camera. So I just always think it's interesting how many people want to know what kind of camera I'm using. In my perfectionist opinion, I'm just like, well, I mean, it's not like the best. I don't know why you want to know, because I mean, I would get a different one if I could, but yeah, I'll link it. And even when I film YouTube videos, I use this one as well. I just flip it on the horizontal. It's a micro lens technically, so it can pick up on a lot of detail. So whatever camera you have, get a lens that's like 50 millimeters, or this is a 42.5, which is a total random number in my opinion, but I don't know, maybe it's not in the lens world. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I set up my lights to hit the backdrop. On a backlight, all right? The backlight is exactly what it sounds like. It's the light that is shining on the back drop. Previously, I actually only had one light to shine on the backdrop, and it still gave the same effect, but you could kind of see in some of my older videos, the back was a little bit more dim on one side than it was on the other side, and that's strictly because I had one light. That's why I got another light, so that I could blast out both sides. Yeah, this is the reason why you want to have a wee bit of space in between you and the backdrop, because we're going to stick our lights Like right here. If we're totally smashed up against our backdrop, a bitch is not gonna have no room. Okay? If you're filming in a closet, get creative, y'all. Figure it out. Now, if you're looking for a moody effect, if you want a dark backdrop, just a really dark kind of vibe back there, you're not gonna use a backlight at all. Okay? And you might even want to use a paper backdrop at that point, because vinyl reflects light a little bit. It makes this glow. It completely blasts out the back, pretty much overexposing the black, making it like glowy as fuck, you feel me? But when you're wanting a dark background, you want no light background. You don't want any light back there. You might even want to use a paper black backdrop because it will absorb any light, making it at the back look even darker, versus a vinyl black backdrop might have a silkier effect. It kind of just depends on what you're going for. It might pick up on the lights in front of you is what I'm saying, and you can maybe see a reflection. I don't know, I haven't actually played with it. If you do want a black backdrop or a dark backdrop, you might need to give yourself even more space in between you and the backdrop than you think, okay? Because the closer up, the more your camera's gonna pick up the detail of what, the texture of whatever the backdrop is. I don't know if you feel me, but that makes sense to me. Okay, so it's actually the end of the day now because my daughter woke up and nothing else got done. Now we got our back lit. It looks a little bit because we're zoomed really far out. But when we zoom in, it looks super fucking bright, okay? So yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty fire right now. What? My hair, a bitch's edges got a little fucked up. So from here, you can change the color of the background. I'll show you a couple of my favorite colors to use. So what's another cool thing about having like multiple lights for your backdrop is that you can kind of do a little bit of a color combo. Let me show you. And now we have like a bi-color background, which I think is super fucking sick. Like she said, huh? She said, I'm gonna be the star. Twist and tuck, bitch. I've been swearing by the twist and tuck my whole life. You can do this with any color combination, or you can do it with the same color on both sides so that you get a really even, like, strong. Some of the colors show up better than the other colors, I will say that. Some of them are a little bit more mute. So I really like the purple. Okay, here's the purple. I dig the purple. I use it quite often. So this is it with the blue background. I'm actually really digging the blue. Okay, so you can see how now my background, it has an orange vibe. You can continue to do this with any colors, any color combination you want. This is my 42.5mm lens that I showed you earlier. That again, I like this size because it is very close and cropped and personal, bitch. You can see everything, and that's what we want. We need clarity. We're gonna put this on and I'm gonna show you the difference. I mean, I don't know if you can see a difference, but it probably looks a little bit more clear. Right now, we have our settings. Our f-stop is at 6.3 and our shutter speed is at 25, and that's totally off what I normally have that totally off what I normally have it at. So, you know, I always just kind of go with what looks good and doesn't affect the motion. Like sometimes when you're playing with the settings, your motion will get all weird, okay? I'm not a photographer, so I'm not gonna go into the manual settings of a camera as of right now. If you're interested in that kind of video, let a bitch know, because I certainly can, okay? I just don't think we have time for that right now. But you can play with these. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because say you only have one light and your video is kind of dim, okay? I'm gonna turn off some of my lights to explain this. So my lights in front of me are significantly duller than they were before. They're turned down to a lower setting. So this is kind of like if you have this situation where you just don't have the lighting to get it super fucking bright from the get-go. You can go into your settings and you can toggle around with your shutter speed and your f-stop and that stuff. I like to do it through those two settings before I touch the ISO. The ISO, I like to keep at its lowest. That's just what I do. Everything affects all of the other settings, so you kind of have to figure out the order in which to go. I can open up my camera's lens to let in more light, essentially, okay? And by doing that, I can play around. See here. Now, it's a warmer tone, but we're gonna show you how to kind of adjust from the warmer tone. Okay, I couldn't like adjust my white balance while I was recording, so hopefully I can put that together in a way that makes sense. I just said I wasn't going to go into the settings, but I am going to kind of explain this one a little bit. The white balance is literally what the white tones in your picture or video look like. If they're true to white, or if they're blue white, if they're warm white, you know what I mean? You can go in and adjust your white balance in order to accommodate for if you're getting too much warmth in your frame, or if you are getting too much like cool tones. Okay, so I actually have one that was custom made that I made a while ago, and that's the one I picked because it looks actually really fucking good. Okay, but you can see it neutralized it a little bit, right? We still have warmth in our background, but we don't have as much warmth on our face and skin, because my skin already pulls really warm on camera and in general, so I want to neutralize my tones a little bit. So, but you can see how adjusting the white balance will kind of adjust the temperature of it. Again, my lights are super turned down. My lights in my front of me are hella turned down right now, and we're still getting a pretty glowy look. So figure out how to use your camera settings, and it's going to take you really, really far. So a trick that you can do, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see, is you can turn your zebras on. And your zebras is the setting in your camera, you're in your grid. So zebras are just going to show lines, what is this, diagonal lines, wherever your frame is overexposed. So here's how I like to make sure my shit is popping. I like to make sure that my backdrop's got the zebras. When the lines show up, that area is overexposed, okay? That area is blasted out, it's too bright. Okay, that's what the camera thinks. It's good to know what's overexposed and what's not, because sometimes your screen looks different than how it actually will end up looking when it's uploaded on the computer. I like my backdrop to be super bright, so I want my zebras to show up back here, but I don't want the zebras to show up on my face. If the zebras show up on my forehead or my cheeks or anywhere too much, like if it's like my highlight, whatever, because the bitch is glowing, but like if it's too much, then we have to turn things down. So if this doesn't look bad, but if I didn't have the zebras on, I might even think that it was perfect. But having seen them with my zebras on, I can see that I'm still a little overexposed on my own skin. So I'm gonna take it down one more notch. Now, from here, guys, there is still things you do in editing. And yeah, start making your content, get poppin', blow up, and live your best life. So if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, let a bitch know. Thank you so much for watching. Deuces.